All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another 30-day redemption. This is day 3 of our mind segment. And the 30-day redemption is all about mind, body, and spirit for the purpose of helping you redeem yourself or be redeemed from thinking, foods, um, lifestyles, and entities and doctrines, etc., so that you can live a more fulfilling life. And so this is our second time hosting the 30-day redemption. We did another one in April. I invite anyone who has not checked out April to do so. Go through every day, and I am sure you will gain something of value from our various speakers. Today we're going to touch on the topic of redemption through entrepreneurship. This is part 1 of a 3-part series, and we're going to identify opportunities and ways of setting up a low overhead business. We're going to squeeze that into 1 hour. Prepare yourself if anyone has a business concept, one that you're willing to share. Part of this presentation, we will do some brainstorming. So if you have a business concept and you'd like to discuss it, we'll pick someone and we will do some brainstorming. So have your pen and your pad ready so that we can go into just looking at some ideas, something that you could glean from this concept. Disclaimer is that the opinions expressed in this presentation are those of the presenter. They do not purport to reflect the opinions and views of the 30-day redemption or its members, officers, staff, partners, or advertisers. Baron Rothschild of the Rothschild family, who controls many of the central banks throughout the world, including England, Spain, and guess what? Also the United States, says, the time to buy is when there's blood in the streets. For those of us who have been paying attention for the last week, there has been blood, there's been mayhem, and so surely someone is using that as a signal to buy. Buy what? Real estate and everything else, because people are panicking. You could be on that side of the table out there panicking, or you could be on the side of the table of those who are looking at the timing and the opportunity to further their legacy. So does that sound harsh? Did his statement, when there's blood in the street, that you should buy property? Sounds a little harsh. But is it possibly that it's harsher for the person who is either choosing to be in the streets or the person who's even a victim of the blood in the streets? Some of these things that happen are a matter of decisions and choices, or even foreseeing things that will happen. And those who position themselves probably live to tell the tale years later, or pass on the legacy from making those moves. So before we get into entrepreneurialism, there's a lot of questions that you have to answer for yourself, okay? But before we get into that, I wanted to say that you have to really make the choice to decide what side of history you're going to be on. Will you make the decision to protect yourself, protect your family, your legacy? Or will you get just embroiled in the emotions of what's going on and not necessarily seeing what the end of the road is, but just caught up, fighting for the rights, which of course we should, but what is the strategy? And also being played and being a victim of someone else's strategy, where other people are coming into your fight that you have no idea belong or do not belong in the fight, and actually turning something that you intend to be a peaceful protest or something to show your solidarity, and it becomes violent. It changes your life, changes a family life. And so being on the right side of history and making sure that your decision is not based on emotions, but based on understanding so that you can protect yourself and protect your family, protect your legacy, because an emotional investment may be made right now, but the returns may be disappointing later. And so to be on the right side of history and to make the right decision is very important. So today's presentation, we will focus on entrepreneurialism as a means of redemption, as a means of being a revolutionary by handling your business. Um, it's better to sometimes live to be able to tell the story, or better to be dead to the world than to be dead in the world. Better to be disconnected and kind of doing your own thing than to just be dead in the streets. And no shade, I support whoever decides that that's the direction they want to go, but I hope you have a plan. But entrepreneurialism is one of the tools that we can use to fight back. And people have done it for so many years. And so where do we start? Where do I start? What is the first thing that I should need to do? I need an idea. I always wanted to work for myself. I always wanted to control my own time, which is probably the big thing for most people. They're like, I just hate not being away from my family, or I just hate working for someone else. I hate working for people that are not as smart as me. So where do you start? Well, what can you do? That's a good starting point. What are your talents? Some people sing. Some people are good with their hands. Some people do art. Some people are just good with technology. Some people are great with fashion. Some people have an eye for photography. What is it that you're really good at? Also, some of us are the beneficiaries of DNA, where we got something in our DNA from a member of our family from many years ago. And we say, I don't even know where I got that from. I just know how to do it. Your talent is a great place to start, especially for those who are living purposeful lives. You can actually live your purpose and be compensated for it. You know, just because you're living your purpose doesn't mean that you shouldn't be compensated. You can be compensated within your purpose. So what are your talents, and how can you take those talents and those gifts and those that DNA and package it into something, and then take that something and put a price to it? That's one avenue. That's one place to start within yourself, within your talent. And as I said, once you identify these things, and you may be able to do multiple things. Some people are multi-talented. I notice people who are in the creative space, who are like graphics people or artists, they're also pretty good with music. It's almost like the two are intertwined. Once they're doing things with graphics, they want to do things with music production. They seem to go hand in hand. Where do I start? Well, what can you solve? Right now, as the world is spinning out of control and all of the emotions are going into retaliation and into protest, and then for the perpetrators, all of the energy is going into defense and closing stores early and boarding up stores. There's this pocket in between those who are the perpetrators and those who are the victims, the solutions providers. Maybe some of the people who are out marching need some water. Maybe some of the people who are out need to re-up their battery so they can catch the live of them on the scene. Maybe some of the people who are arrested may need a lawyer. Maybe some of the people who are a victim of what's going on may need some support, moral support, coaching. That's just within the dynamic of what's going on. But there are things to always solve. I particularly have one idea that someone needs to do some customer training, customer service training for all of the young minority people at the checkout counter who think it's cool to have conversations that are inappropriate while you're trying to check out. Someone needs to do millennial etiquette for Walmart, et cetera, et cetera. That's a field. Maybe someone will do that. Maybe someone will solve that. So when I show up, they can have the little, I got some millennial customer service training from whoever you may be that do it. What can you solve? What do others need? 30-day redemption, for example, was formed because it was foreseen that people will need something during quarantine, during social distancing, during this time to stay inspired. So for those who were with us, April, you might have other things going on in your life, but one thing you did not lack was a source of inspiration for 30 days. That solved a need. Some of the people didn't know they had a need until the 30-day redemption showed up, and whatever was gained at the end of day 30 was like, man, I needed that. You may be able to foresee a need before others foresee the need. So what do others need? Sometimes within your own circle, some of the activities you do, you may be able to capitalize on that. Also, what does the data show? This is a very important area because you can have a great idea and a great name, and you may think you have a great need, but the timing may be bad. For example, Essence Music Festival has their Essence Festival every year. Thousands of people, tens of thousands of people show up. Essence decided, we're going to continue and proceed with Essence Festival. Well, it's June and it's a lot of uncertainty. New Orleans is a hotbed of coronavirus. Black businesses are suffering. Essence still wants to push forward. Maybe the timing is bad. What does the data show? And so the data is not only good for when you start a business, but it's also good for the decisions that you need to make while in business. So one of the important things about data is that it lets you know where the demand is. That's how you make your decision. Where is there a demand? Google has a service that you can type in certain words and it'll show you the areas in the world that people are searching for those keywords. And that's how you know where an emerging market is showing up. So back in 2012, for example, we were producing some natural hair brands and natural hair events. And when you typed in natural hair in Google, you've seen a lot of stuff in the United States. Then maybe 3 years later, you typed in the same thing. You've seen some Google searches in the Caribbean. And then you searched it maybe 2 years after that, and you've seen certain places in West Africa. I haven't checked since, but it lets you know where are people searching, because that lets you know where there's interest. And you could use that data to say, you know what, this is an emerging area. Then they have a section that's called breakout. We'll cover some of these things when we do our workshop, so you can see some of these tools and it can help you make decisions. Okay, the data, the keywords, etc. So what does the data show? What happened in history? Well, right now, for example, 1920 had very similar things happen. They had something called the Red Hot Summer, where a lot of the racial drama that played out from racial disharmony and jealousy caused a lot of black businesses in Tulsa, in Florida, in Chicago, in various places, North Carolina. A lot of black businesses were burnt to the ground because of the jealousy. Wilmington, North Carolina. And so we're in 2020. So is it a really good time for you to get a retail overhead? I don't know. Is it? It might be, because the prices may be lower. Might not be, because it may be the Red Hot Summer 2020 edition. We really don't know. Okay. But you do want to check history, because history gives you a guide on what happened to make it start, what happened during, how were they able to recover. So in 1918, they had a virus and an outbreak, and they recovered. Okay. How did they recover? And that'll let you know how to position yourself to profit. So where do I start? There are some examples. Okay. Build a business where there is a strong or emerging demand for the good or service. Now, one thing that we do, especially people of color, we have some of the most fancy names. My friends know I always make this as a joke. But it's a joke, but it's also kind of serious. We have some of the best names. We come up with some of the fanciest names. Some of the other people in the other nations, for example, especially Asian people, when you see the store, you know exactly what they're offering. Nail shop, Chinese food. You're not unclear about what it is that you're getting. Show up to our places and Equinox. No one knows what you offer. You just see a really cool, you have to go inside and say, what do you guys do? So another part of it is, after you decide what you're going to do, pick a simple enough name so that people will know on site, what is it that you do. Do your research. It costs you less money for research than for mistakes. It may take a little time. Sometimes we get really anxious. Oh man, I want to do this before anyone else does. I don't want anyone to steal my idea. Do your research, found out that someone not only got the same business, but got the .com and your picture on their website. They were so ahead of you. Do your research. Read, watch the videos, talk to people in the industry, go to the industry events, immerse yourself in the industry, volunteer in the industry, study the market over the last 10 years and know what you're getting into. So that if it costs you $500 worth of research, but saves you $500,000 in just tweaking something, you may do the research and be like, oh, I see. Well, they're doing it this way, but I'm going to do it a little bit different. There are a lot of industries that just need a tweak, and you can take that industry and turn it all the way up. So I'd always say, whoever does it first does not necessarily mean they've done it the best. You all remember Yahoo search engine. You remember those. And then what happened? Google came along. You used to go to the Yahoo search engine and it would throw you into a seizure, all of the information that was around that little search box. Google decided, we're going to be really simple. We won't have anything. Just search. And we know how that story went. Ask yourself, am I built for this? Is this what I want to do? Am I built for this? Business is brutal. Business is not a walk in the park. If you work 8 hours for someone, you may work 16 hours for yourself, but you won't feel it. My days, I'm like, what happened to the day? So you'll work harder, but you won't feel it, because what? It's for you. It's for your children. It's for your family. But are you built for it? Some business models, you're like, I might as well go work for somebody, because at least every week I know I get a check. Some business models, you don't get paid for years. And if someone works for you, they're getting paid. Now, I know out there they say, pay yourself first. You have to make the money to pay yourself first. Sometimes you're right there at the line. And if you're at the line, you're like, man, I might as well just go get a job, because this is not making any money. Look at your strengths and your weaknesses. Are you in the business where you have to deal with people? Are you in a business where you can do it from behind the scenes? Are you someone that can sit down for a certain amount of hours at a time, or are you anxious? Can you do it all? Should you do it all? You have some times where people want to do it all because they want all the money. But by having a partner, you could have done it better and had more money. I remember one time I had a client, well, a potential client who wanted me to manage a music project. And he said to me, I told him, I will charge you 20%. He didn't have anything but music. He wasn't established. He said to me, I can't see myself giving you 20%. If I make $1 million, I can't see myself giving you $200,000. I said, well, right now you have zero. So how much of the percentage are you losing? Get out of your own way. If you have to split some of the money to make more of the money, then you don't need to do it all. Let someone do what they do. You do what you do, because you have a limitation of time, money, and energy, and you may lose more money by not wanting to split the money. So something to think about. Can you do it all? What are the business needs? What is it that the business needs? Equipment, technology, expertise, location. You have to know what those needs are, and you may not know what you don't know. And if you don't know what you don't know, it's going to cost you to find out. So for example, if someone has a business package and they're saying, yeah, well, I could take care of everything, set your business for $5,000. $5,000? You're stuck on the $5,000. They say it's 2020. By 2021, you're doing it yourself. Not going to pay no $5,000. By 2021, the business is still not set up. You lost more than $5,000. By 2022, you're trying to juggle working full-time and doing the business at night when everybody is going home. $5,000 don't seem so bad. But we get so stuck on the sticker shock of the numbers. You don't realize that, well, if a business package included setting up your business, getting your website, and doing all these other things, you have people who will charge you $5,000 just for a website. Know what your business needs and give it to it so that the business can grow. If the business was considered or treated like a baby, because it is, you know, there's these various stages of your business. There's the birth, there's the growth, there's the maturity, there's the exit. If your business is treated like a baby and the baby needs food, the baby needs clothes, when you go to the store and the baby needs diapers and food, you don't say $5,000. You say, gotta do what you gotta do. Babies need food, baby needs shelter, baby needs clothing, baby needs daycare. You can't have a baby and not be willing to take the responsibility and the cost of having a baby. Your business is your baby. You can't have a baby and don't want to feed the baby. So, what are the business needs? Figure it out or ask someone who knows. Do you need a partner? Some people who are very creative are not very good at business. They're creative and everything is built around creativity. Some people, especially if they're like musical singers, or their currency is recognition, people recognizing their craft. The business person be like, I understand your currency is recognition, but we need to get paid for those performances. We need to get paid for those tracks. We need to get paid. And some of the creative people just are so sold on being recognized that they take a loss when it comes to getting paid. Can you join an existing business? Is there a business model like a franchise where you don't have to start from scratch? You may be like, hey, what does it cost to just buy in? Like when they had Jackson Hewitt's location selling for, I think, $14,000 for a franchise because it's seasonal. Okay. There are business franchises that you can get $5,000 and buy in, and they'll show you the business plan. They'll show you the model, the support. You may not have to create something that's already created. You just buy into the licensing, do what they say to do, give it a shot. Is there a blueprint or a proven model you can follow? You know, and I'm saying this with a take this just for face value. Some of the network marketing companies can work for you. They're proven models. Some of them make the people at the top very rich while you're running around burning up gas, time, money, energy to promote it. Some network marketing companies, or as you heard them, MLMs, multi-level marketing, some of those organizations have decent services that you can take and bundle. And some, the profit margin is just not big enough for you to make sense out of it, and have too many people offering the same things for you to have a unique service. So some of those just don't work, except to the benefit of those who are sitting at the top watching a team of ants go out and sell their stuff while they make the lion's share of the money. What kind of structure should you set up? Should you get an office? Should you get a storefront? Can you go online? Can you do a combination? What is the structure of the business besides the physical or the virtual? Should you have a LLC? Should you do an Inc? Should you do a sole proprietorship? What kind of setup should you do? Should you do a trust? See, it gets kind of sophisticated. Should you do a limited partnership? You know, we talk about LLC, sole proprietor, incorporated, but then there's other business types. LP, LLP, trusts. It gets really complicated, but you should identify your structure, because certain structures of businesses work better for you. Sole proprietorship may be the cheapest way to get started, but if somebody sues you, they're coming for you. LLC, limited liability company, some people have an LLC and it's just them in it. And they're like, yeah, I wanted to get an LLC because, you know, I just wanted the business to stand on its own. Not realizing that an LLC with one member is considered a sole proprietorship. So they can still come after you and your business. Then there's the partnership, where it's a true LLC standing with two partners. And so that entity can only be sued up until whatever it is that is owned in it. And let me also say this disclaimer: I am not a lawyer. Okay, so this is not legal advice, but I am a business person and have done this and know that part of it. So that's from my experience. Seek a lawyer if that's what you need to do to structure the legal entity. Okay. But you need a structure for your business, and you also need to know where the physical logistical structure, online, offline. Has anyone been down to the Amazon warehouse? No, right? They're an online structure. I remember when Amazon started. Because Amazon started when I started. I remember when Amazon started. Because we were using an online example as a case study, and they came up, and it was like, who is this company selling stuff online? And he was selling stuff out of his garage. Google started over a bike shop. Amazon started in a garage. Structure is important. Another question is, do I need a business plan? Some people you'll talk to, they tell you $10,000 for a business plan, and there goes the $10,000. Not all business plans can cost that much, but people charge for their time. But you could find business plans. You could get help with business plans. But do you need one? Well, what's the purpose of it? Some people say, well, I need a business plan because I need to get a loan. I remember one business person telling me, most times people who are using business plans to get a loan, that identifies them that they don't know what they're doing. I said, wow, that's deep. The purpose of a business plan is not for you to get a loan. The purpose of a business plan is to let you see if this business is a real viable, solid business, or if it's just an idea. If it's just something that sounds really good to you, and it lets you do the work, the research, the competition. You find your niche. When you run the numbers, when you do the economics of it, you get to see, okay, these numbers it don't make sense doing this because I could only make this. I might as well go back to work, not have the headache. Okay, not all businesses make sense. So yes, you need a business plan because it gives you the blueprint and gives you some forecasting ideas of what you can do. The funny thing about Google, speaking of them, is that they already had Google search set up, and then they let one of the guys working with them who never did a business plan put it together for them to get the first round of funding. And not that the guy was already ready to cut the check. I think it was $150,000, but they needed a business plan. Just, it's a formality. So you should have one for more than one reason: for you to see when you're doing presentations, and if someone says, hey, do you have a business plan? Here you go. It's a formality. So you do need a business plan. So part of our discussion was, we're going to talk about some ideas. Well, I'm going to come off here so you guys are not distracted, because we're going to talk about it. We want to talk about some opportunities and some ideas that you can think about. This is not an exhaustive list. There's so many opportunities. You can create opportunities. Right now, my headspace is in a whole different realm concerning opportunities, concerning what needs to be built. I particularly probably could come up with an idea in 5 minutes. Those who know me know that. And we're going to do a brainstorming session and could throw some of these ideas into the pot. But there are so many opportunities. You should really look at the market and see what's available, because it is not necessary for anyone to work for someone else, especially with all of the monies, especially if you're a minority now, and kind of this attention. For example, Bank of America is saying they're going to commit $1 billion towards, minorities. Okay, well, what does that mean? Or the stimulus. I mean, people are getting access to a little bit more money than they did before. I don't know what the spirit and intention is behind it, but I know that the access is a little different than it has been for many years, where you could just fill out a 10-minute form and then a check is coming in or money's coming in your bank statement, or you fill out an application and you get access to funds. Something is happening, and take advantage of it. Do something that you've always wanted to do. Give it a shot. Okay. So let's go back and let's look at 20 opportunities for a low overhead business that you can consider. Investing online. Some people may say, I always wanted to do that, but I just don't know how. Can you teach me? You can come on to one of the workshops, but it's not fair for someone to teach this one, answer this, do this. No, people's time has value. So ask the question, hey, are you having any workshops? We can have investors come on and show these strategies in a workshop. Okay, that's fair. So what are some of the ways you can invest? Well, you can do equity investing. That's the stock market. You can do cryptocurrency, which is Bitcoin and Ethereum and some of these other cryptocurrencies. And you can just sit on your computer, put the thing on, get the exchange app, and learn the ropes. There is options investing, where you invest in the future rise or fall of a thing. You can buy into, I think this is going to go up, I want to buy this amount. And you could buy a percentage of a stock and still make decent money. There's people who are willing and able to teach that. So equity investing, cryptocurrency, option investing, there's more. But investing online is something that you can do, which is a low overhead because you pretty much need a computer and some knowledge and a bank account, a trade account, Robinhood. You have, a few different options. And then you learn the ropes. So investing online is one. Build a brand around your name. Yes, your name. You can build a brand around your name and have all the different things you're interested in under your name. I have one under my name. As a matter of fact, the reason there's a brand called Ask Chaashab is because people were literally asking Chaashab. And I was like, you know what I need? I need a brand called Ask Chaashab, and boom, here we have it. Build a brand around your name. Ask, whatever your name. Ask John. Ask John. PayJohn.com. Build a brand around your talent. We covered that earlier. Set up an e-commerce store. You know how to make products? Make products. People are making money selling products online. Shea butter. Liquid African soap. Hair ointments. Brushes. You know how to do something unique? Art. You know how to take and put glitter on stuff? Glitter. T-shirts. But if you're selling something unique that doesn't require you to sell a product, you can sell a service. Like e-commerce doesn't have to be a product. E-commerce could be as simple as, we're doing a training on this day, and this is what the package costs. You can sell a service as e-commerce. And as long as it's built into your website where you could collect that payment, the money goes in. You provide the service, and the platform and the people provide the attention and the money. Set up an e-commerce store. Blogging or vlogging. Blogging, if you're a decent writer or if you're a decent photographer, you can do blogging, or vlogging is the videos. That's where you have those YouTube personalities. How do they get paid? They get paid because all of the traffic and all of the people that are showing interest to them, companies pay you for the traffic. On your website, on YouTube, YouTube even pays you. You just have to set it up properly. And if you have something interesting to talk about, people will come and check you out. Selling or liquidating items on eBay is an opportunity for low overhead. You can sell time that other people don't have and say, hey, you got a whole bunch of stuff in your garage. We go around and we have a truck. You know, they have the 2 men in a truck. We have 2 men in a truck, and we will come take pictures of all the stuff in your garage, take it to our whole warehouse and sell it for you and give like consignment for garage stuff. We'll clean your garage and clear out the stuff, and we can prepay you for the garage. We'll give you $500 for everything in the garage. No questions asked. We'll give you $200 and clean it out. Those are all ideas. List the stuff on eBay. List the stuff on Craigslist. This is not an endorsement of Craigslist because, you've heard all the different stories, but you can sell stuff. You could do affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing can work with companies like Amazon has affiliate marketing. Even Alibaba has affiliate marketing. There's a website called cj.com, Commission Junction. You go and log on, set up an account. They have a whole bunch of affiliates. You know what's crazy about affiliate marketing? Some of these companies pay pretty good money per pop. $100 a pop for referring. Even Cash App had $10 per person if you refer a friend or family. You're getting $50 for referring 5 people. That's an affiliate marketing scenario. Now, can you pay your rent and raise your children with that? Maybe not, but it is a stream of income. Personal development, training, and mentorship is another. Okay. You can do that remotely. Hey, can I talk to you for a minute? Sure. Go to my personal development page, pay the fee, and I'll lock you in on my calendar. No, I just wanted to talk to you. Can't do it. Time is money. Graphics and web design. All of that has the ability to make decent money, especially now as we're in this content space. Content, graphics design, those are good markets because people need it and they don't know how to do it. And if you could do it for them remotely, they'll pay you. If anyone needs any of those services, feel free to holler at us. We have that. See how easy that was? Remote technical support. For some of you techie people, some of you IT, former IT, you can log on and remotely do stuff. You don't even have to see the person. These days, you don't have to see the person and you prefer not to see them. Hey, can you take your camera and let me see what it looks like? Turn on your screen, put down, download, log in, let me go in and see. I accept cash. Cash App, PayPal, Zelle. It's just too easy. Before they had these technologies, I was pretty much already thinking like that. Like 98, especially 2001. I found out that they had a little air card that you could slide in the side of your computer and log in. I had to have one. Now, it was slow as heck, but still. Virtual assistant. Some of you are very good administratively. Offer that. Offer your services. Offer your talent. Some of you are excellent writers. Offer your talent. Someone needs a book. Partner up. Hey, I want to do a book, but I'm not a good writer. Hey, I'm a good writer. I don't have a book idea. Let's get together, write these books, print 1,000 copies, and split the money. Some of you are going to be like, I'm not splitting the money of that book. That's my idea. I want 100% of zero. Broker domain. Anyone that knows, I'm always buying domain names. I think of a domain name and buy the name. One of my domains, someone wanted to offer me $10,000 for it. I was so tempted, but I was like, I'll wait. Now it's worth $12,000. Let's wait until the end of the year, right? Domains are money in the bank. They go up in value. There's certain keywords that you use. You can search it up. Certain keywords, like look up any organization with the word impact in it and see how much they want for those domains. $2,000, $3,000. Domain business is big business. If you come up with a really creative name and you snatch it before anyone else, you have value just from catching it before anyone else. They're like stocks. And then when you take the domain name and you build it into a business, and then it starts to create revenue. How do the domains create revenue? Well, the website, whatever it's selling, e-commerce, whatever advertising, whatever traffic, all of these things build the value or the valuation of the brand. And if you keep good records, you can turn around and build a business and sell it. People broker and sell businesses all the time. I can only imagine that online businesses are probably more profitable or more valuable than physical businesses right now. You could probably pick up a physical business pretty cheap because people are just done. Okay. Domain brokerage, outsourcing. You can outsource or be a source of outsourcing for someone. Hey, do you want me to take care of all of your calls? Do you want us to take care of that for you? I'll take care, especially if you find someone that has decent money and just don't have the time. I'll take care of what you need taken care of so that you can focus on making more money to pay me. You know, if you get an extra $20,000 for outsourcing or $10,000 per client per year, and you got 5 clients, that's $50,000, and you kind of bought yourself time. Okay. Art and handmade craft sellers. You can stuff that you create. Some people come from cultures where you've learned something, basket weaving from auntie. You know how to get certain type of minerals and jewelry from family, abroad, and you can take it and sculpt it and put it into jewelry. Certain ethnic things, certain crafts that you've learned. I met a guy in South America who was like, yeah, he's a goldsmith. I was like, a goldsmith? He's like, yeah, I have the equipment. I'm like, can you teach that? He's saying it matter of fact. I'm thinking, a goldsmith, you know how valuable that is when you want to make custom jewelry? I got to find his number. Arts and handmade craft sellers, personal trainers, okay? Digital marketing, big business. Do you know that you can make about $30,000 a client if you get a really good client for doing all their digital marketing? The minimum you should make for digital marketing is $5,000 a month. Because it's work. All of that email marketing, keyword search, content creation, all of that write-up, copywriting, to write the material, research, putting it together. You don't think somebody should pay that kind of money? But some of you going to be like, $5,000? Yeah. That's what it is. Because if that $5,000 for that company can make them $50,000 a month, that's affordable. Even if it makes you $10,000, whatever it makes, it's worth it. When you put $5,000 into paying the person and paying for the ads to go out and that type of thing, and you start to see the returns, it's worth it. There's also digital marketing. Content creation. Content curation. Finding content for people. Hey, I'm going to go out and what do you guys have? Well, I have a blog, dealing with current events. Okay, I'm going to offer you pictures. I'm going to go out on the scene. I'm going to get the pictures. I'm going to upload it to you, but I need you to pay me this amount. I'm going into dangerous territory. Me and a couple of my friends, we're going to cover. One is going to cover the video angle. One is going to cover the photo angle. And one is going to be live streaming. So you got to pay us to be out here streaming to your platform. Okay. How much you guys want? $5,000. Content creation is also important. So you have the curation, which you find the content, and then you have the creation where you create the content. Okay. One is finding, and he doesn't have any talent, or he may have a talent to find good stuff, and the other one is creating material to put on your platform. Okay. Debt collection is also a low overhead business. You can become a debt collector, collect old debt, and make those phone calls. Some of you are very nice. You may call, hey, Michael, this is Michael. Before you hang up, I understand that you owe a debt, and we're willing to, you could buy old debts and collect on them. A little bit annoying. I don't know who's going to pay it now, but nonetheless, it's a business. And the last one for low overhead business opportunities, ideas, finding a real estate investor and tell them, listen, I'm going to go and find properties for you if you pay me a finder's fee. They call it in the real estate business bird dogging. It's like a bird dog going out to find. You go and you find the deals and contract the deals, and they'll pay you to assign the deals to them, especially if it's a really good deal. So those are some of the ideas, not an exhaustive list. We have hundreds more, but this should give you an idea of something that you can do to liberate yourself from under the man. So this time I wanted to do a group participation and some brainstorming. So who wants to brainstorm and talk about a business concept they have? You can unmute, and we're going to take about 15 minutes. Maybe now we'll take about 10 minutes. Go over it, see if we can find some really good ideas, or one good idea. We'll talk about it and see if we can brainstorm and come up with something, some answers for you. So, does anyone have a business idea they would like to toss around and see if we could brainstorm? It'll take about 10 minutes. Anyone?
I do. This is Rafaela.
Okay. What you got?
So I'm a food photographer and I love cooking. I don't want to I want to be able to create my own magazine that talks about food and culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know the area if there's any money in it, how to create that into an actual business.
Now, is that something you want to do as a physical magazine or as a digital magazine?
I want to do as a digital magazine. I want it to be online.
Online. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that, right? Food photography. Now, you just want to stick to the images, or would you like to capture the culture in video as well?
Just the image. The idea that I have is I wanted to showcase how all over the world we eat pretty much the same thing. So the idea is to showcase my photos as a food photographer,
Mm-hmm.
but the magazine will be the recipes, but also the history of that food, of the particular dish.
Okay. Now, before we go into some of the technical, how do you anticipate making money? Is this something you're doing for a passion, or is this something that you want to capitalize on?
Both.
Okay. So now, do you hope that people will see your food photography and say, hey, we want you to do our food photography? Or are you hoping that people will see the people who you cover and say, hey, come out and fly out and cover us and we'll pay for all of your expenses? How do you anticipate to make money from it?
I would like to be able to make that that's actually a great idea. I would like to be able to do that. For example, a magazine that saw my work and they want me to shoot for them, or, not so much being a food photographer per se. I wouldn't mind doing that, but I don't want to go into the business of food photography. I want to just to have my site make money with my photography and my recipes and my ideas.
Now, do you realize that when you have content online, you can protect that content? And do you know that if someone sees your content, they can actually pay you to take your content and put it on their platform as well?
Oh,
That your food photography that you're taking for, let's say you do Uruguay and you go to Uruguay and you capture the people, the food, you do a write-up,
mm-hmm.
that travel companies who are interested in getting people to go to Uruguay will actually put your content on their platform as one of the ways of enticing. As a matter of fact, even when you travel in the plane, they have those airline magazines, and you're actually able to take your content and sell or license the use of your content, because your content will give them traffic, and from that traffic you're able to get a portion of the monies from the traffic that their website gets.
Yeah,
So there's money to be made from content. There is money to be made from the actual photography if you go someplace and capture someone. And then your specific platform and the traffic that you get, because everyone loves food.
right.
So being able to really capture food and get people to come to your website because they're enticed, or being able to create what they call the email marketing around people who go to your website and fill out the little subscription bar, you can actually market to those people the foods, especially if there's any locals that make the food. So say, for example, you go to Uruguay and they really like the food and they're like, man, I would really wish I could get that in the United States. You can actually partner with local people and say, can you guys make this dish? And we would like to do email marketing using our content, or I can come down to your photographer, to your place, and take pictures of your foods and market it to a list of people who we know are interested in that food. So you get money for the photography. You get money because you're now marketing them to your audience of people. You could charge them for that. And then you and then you get money because the audience that you're offering them access to. You're not giving them the audience. You're offering them access to the audience to promote their location. So you get advertising money, photography money, and then money for access to your audience if they want to market something specific. All of this built around capturing, building up a database, and then finding the right platforms to put your content on to get more attention to the content you already own. So we know now that content and ownership of content is valuable. Ownership of content, ownership of your pictures, ownership of your write-up, and being able to drive traffic to your main website, being able to offer content to other websites, being able to offer services to the local people who are able to make, being able to offer your services of gathering content from people in remote locations. So now you're expanding your market reach and not have to pay for it. And while you're in that market, you can build other relationships and get more content. So what are we talking about? 4 or 5 revenue streams from just
from one.
Just from photos.
Yeah.
Not being able to see that, someone would hear food photography and be like, what's that?
Right.
Like, what kind of food?
And I had a lot of people that used to say, like, food photography, what is it that you actually do? What is that?
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. Because you have to see the business behind it. Mm-hmm. So your camera becomes a money generating. And then let's not even talk about being able to just sell the photos for people and putting your own food stock photography. I don't know if anyone does that. I don't know if anyone has stock photography for food specifically, but there's an area. They do. Okay. Mm-hmm. You can offer your stock photography on their platform and get paid for selling your prints. Food menus, you can sell your work. So it's about really capturing, storing, owning, licensing, and putting your content together for others to just grab your stuff, put it on their platform and get paid. And that's passive income. And it sounds kind of fun, like, hey, go to Arguay and let them know, hey, I'm going to put it out there. I'm a food photographer. I'll come to break it down. I'll come to your location, come to your place. You can build relationships with the travel and tourism people because everybody's looking at how to bring people to their place. The reason why I mentioned the video portion is because so many people, like you would lose some money if you don't also capture the video, because some people would rather look at pictures and videos than read.
Right.
And so if you do it like that and they would like to just look at the video, then having that portion, especially if your video is rolling around on YouTube, it gives you an opportunity to let people come now and check out your food photography, which YouTube now is driving traffic to your website and driving attention, especially if you tell your story. Especially if you say, hey, I'm Rafaela and I'm a food photographer and I'm going to show you guys what I do, and you take that tour, then people can say, oh, wow, we like her. We want her to come to Jamaica to do us, because copycat. If people don't understand your concept, when they see someone else doing it, they're like, oh, wow, yeah, call her. That's how Ellen gets people on her shows. Like, they'll watch something on YouTube, someone is trending. Next thing you know, you're on Ellen's show because they know that your story drove traffic, and so they'll bring you on her show.
Right.
Okay. So that's just a little quick idea on how you could build value into your food photography business. And then we have to massage that by looking now and doing the research to see which companies are buying, which platforms, how much are they paying, how do you set it up so you can get paid, how can you set it up so you can track the traffic on their site, whoop-de-whoop. So a whole business has to be built around it, but it sounds like a fun idea, and I think you should do it.
Cool. Thank you. I loved it.
All right, cool. All right, so we're coming close to the end. I'm going to go ahead and fire back up my screen so that we can finish our presentation. And then we'll do a Q&A for anyone that has any questions after. Okay. Thomas Jefferson said genius is 2% inspiration and 98% perspiration. So we can come up with great ideas, but you have to do the work. You have to do the work. And that's the part that separates the winners from the losers, the successful from the unsuccessful. I have never seen something get more attention than a person busy doing some work. You could be doing gardening. Sometimes I do some yard work and people just cannot help but stop and talk. I remember I had a whole 10-minute conversation with a Caribbean woman in New York doing some work in the yard. She stopped, we talked, she talked. I don't even know the woman's name. Whole conversation. People love to see other people work. It's a great conversational piece. So when you're doing the work within your business, of course it's going to bring it. People going to say, well, what do you do? I'd like to know more about it. Okay, so that's the 98% that really makes it come alive. Another Thomas, this one is Jefferson, said, I am a great believer in luck, and I find the harder I work, the more I have of it. Now, concerning why entrepreneurship as a form of redemption, it's because literally you shouldn't be working for anyone, not under a servitude. And a lot of jobs are a servitude. A lot of jobs, what you're doing is you're selling your time. 40 hours a week, and for some who are on salary, more. You're selling. Some people work 15 hours a day for someone else, 5 days a week. That's 75 hours a week of your time that you cannot get back in exchange for a check. Everybody's an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur because you sell time. That's what you sell. You're a seller of time for a check. So you can sell products. You can sell services. You don't have to just sell time. You can sell time, products, and services. Everybody's an entrepreneur. But everyone is not a redeemed entrepreneur. The redeemed entrepreneur controls their time, their energy, and their projects. The scripture says that if a sojourner or stranger wax rich by thee, and thy brother that dwell by him wax poor, and sell himself unto the stranger or sojourner by thee, aka a job where you're selling time, or to the stock of the stranger's family. Anybody needs, I could do lawn, I could do this, I could do that. I'm a good, really good hand. No problem. I'm going to need you here 40 hours a week. Okay, I'll be there. I'll be good, man. I'll do a real good job. You know how people talk when they want to get in. Okay. I'm going to pay you $600 a week for 40 hours of your time. Yeah, I could do it. Before the tax man say, wait a minute, I'm going to need 200 of that. He wasn't even in the deal when y'all sat down, but he's in the cut. If you have a brother that's sojourned by you, go and sell himself to a person that's rich. It says after that he is sold, he may be redeemed again. One of his brethren may redeem him. So the purpose of 30-day redemption, and even specifically this conversation, is that the intention is to redeem you from up under servitude that's in an outfit called a job. It's a servitude, but the outfit is called a job. It's rebranded servitude. So the purpose of it is to help you to see what ways can you buy back your time. You buy back your time by the monies that you make with your own projects and your own enterprise and your own passions, replacing the time that you're selling to someone else. That's why we're doing entrepreneurship redemption. For anyone that wants to go deeper into the subject, for anyone that is afraid to speak up but have some ideas that they want to explore, We're going to do a 3-day workshop in June, at the end of the month, the 29th, the 30th, and the 31st. We're going to do it 2 hours each day, and we're going to set you up. You're going to get your business set up, registered, brainstormed, logo, landing page, but you have to be ready. And yes, there's a cost. And it's not $5,000. So make sure that you look out in your email. We'll send that out. And I will also mention, to support what we're doing at 30 Day Redemption, take some time, send a Cash App, send a check, send a PayPal, if you so desire. No pressure. But we are putting in work, and people on the back end, there's things that are needed. We definitely pay for things. And support what we're doing, and tell others to support what we're doing. Come on, jump in, valuable information, but support what we're doing. So I'll end there. And if anyone have any questions, I'm going to open it up. Questions, comments, feedback. You have the floor. And if you don't want to speak, you can always type it in. Questions, comments, feedback. Okay. Well, you guys make it very easy on me. Thank you for coming on this 30 Day Redemption. Tomorrow we have another episode. We're going to do part 1, part 2, and part 3. So I'm doing my part. We'll have some other speakers and other presenters come on. Make sure you tune in. Oh, I see something popped in here. Let's see if there's a question before we close out. Lady says thank you. Thank you, lady, for jumping on. We appreciate your time. Latonia says, I just want to thank you for this specific day. Very informative. Well, thank you, Latonia, for jumping on, and thank you, lady, for your comments. And we're going to end here. That ends the 3rd day of the 3rd Day Redemption. Tomorrow we're going to do another presentation. Be well. Have a wonderful day. Jot down your ideas. Don't let yourself live in regret as far as, man, I wish I would have. Give it a shot. There's monies out there. Let's figure it out, and let's be redeemed and free to live the life we were intended to live. God bless. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.